You sneaky. You're running as an outsider.
I am an outsider.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Come on. Come on. Really?
Do you smoke crack cocaine?
Exactly.
Let's give the people what they came for.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Mr. Prime Minister, will there always be a Canada?
There will always be a Canada.
All right, elbows out.
Elbows up.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here! Get them out of here! Get the hell out of here!
Enough with the woke shit.
So the answer to that is to stop being stupid.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Get your spectral sock out, nerds. It's gonna get good.
Is the federal government stealing from us? Are they sabotaging our industry? Are they taking us down the path to communism? Are they censoring us? Are they stealing our guns from us? Come on, let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Welcome to Unhinged Fringe here Wednesday night. What is it, December 10th already? My God, this month is flowing by. I hope you guys are having a great week. We got a lot to talk about tonight, a lot on the Alberta Independence front, a lot on federal politics, because, boy, this week has just been a complete Mongolian cluster F, as I call it. I got to bring in my host. Don't we bring in the host? There's somebody joins me here every week, don't we? Matt, there he is. Hey, welcome back, Matt. It's good to have you here. Welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Come on, Derek. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. God bless us, everyone. Well, I do have a gift for everybody out there in the stream tonight. Usually it's just Matt and I, but hey, ladies and gents, we have a guest joining us tonight. No, it's not Danielle Smith. I know a lot of people think I got the next best thing, though, to Danielle Smith, of course. PJ the Belt is joining us tonight on stream. How you doing, PJ? Welcome into the Fringe. It's good to have you here on your maiden voyage in the channel.
Hey, man. What's up? Hey, everybody.
It's great to have you here. I've been meaning to have you here for a long time. It's just schedules get crossed, and you sometimes get to a phone at 11 o'clock at night and go, I'll call them tomorrow, and before you know it, it's a month later. So it's good to have you on the show. I was going to make an announcement about this, but I thought I'd surprise everybody, because everybody loves a good old-fashioned.
I spoiled it, man. I went, I put up a video earlier today, and I was like, man, you know what? I want as many people to show up as possible. I want it to be a great live for Fringe and for all of us. So let me just spill the beans.
That's good. All good, man. We got a lot to go over tonight. Surprise announcement coming out of Danielle Smith's camp in regards to the voting or the strike down, I guess you could say, of the pipeline that we all knew was never going to happen. Let's get a good old-fashioned roll call going on, guys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I'll tell you what, if we get 1,000 likes tonight, we're going to do a giveaway. You don't even have to be a member. It's the season for giving. Speaking of giving, folks, just a reminder, every super chat, every membership, every piece of merch bought, every book bought from Amazon, all profits, all proceeds going to our veterans all the way until the 19th. So we got 9 days left on that, folks. Get them in tonight. Let's see what we can get going. Who's joining us tonight? Well, Angel is joining us from Edmonton. We got Wesley Snipes coming in from Lethbridge. Doug's joining us from Michigan. Welcome into all our American viewers. We got Prime Morris watching from La Paz, Mexico. I know a lot of them Mexicans. They're wonderful people, by the way. Lovely people. Carol and Gerald joining us from Calgary, Alberta. Welcome in. We've got Cold Dead Hands south of Langley. Welcome in. We got Jancor coming in from Ottawa, Ontario. Welcome in. We got Mike TV Dub joining us once again from Winnipeg. One of my favorite mods named Mike. It's good to have you here. Angela's coming in from Grove City, Ohio. Welcome in again to our American viewers. Mike Freedom Honey joining us from Beaver County. Good to have him in here. We got Mike. I am not a troll. He is a troll coming in from Calgary. He's my favorite troll. It's good to have you in here, Mike. David Brewer is joining us from Springfield, Missouri. We got Marika jumping in once again from Montreal. Good to have you in here. Steve, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. And coming in from Ohio, it's good to have you in. Mystical coming in from Ohio. Jacques, hey, Derek, Matt, and PJ from Koopa's Casing in Ontario. Good to have you in here. Rex coming in from Arkansas. Monica's in from Nova Scotia. We got Butt Fluff coming in from Strathmore. Angel coming in from near Canmrose, Alberta. Tawasili, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, coming in near from Black Falls. Phoebe's joining us once again from Innisfail. Sue Sampson from Vancouver. Cypress coming in from Delta, BC. Carson El Gringo Grande coming in from Porno Viagra. Great to have you here. I saw Nashville, Tennessee. Where is it? Spiker in Nashville. Guys, we got Canadians. We got Americans. We got people coming from Mexico. We got people from all over the place. Carney coming in with a $5 super chat. Derek needs a beard. Calgary, of course.
I don't think Derek can grow a beard. I've never seen Derek with facial hair. And
I could do the beard, but Mrs. Fringe says she's not touching me if I do that, and well, I'll take that over a beard. So, how dare you? Coming in with a $2 super chat as well. Check in from booming metropolis of Granham, Alberta. Welcome and good to have you here, guys. I got to get caught up quickly because there's a lot to discuss.
Just slap it on the table
and we can't. Yeah, every time he just whips it out. Hey, Dutchy, no messing around. $279.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Last one for the vets. Good to see you all together tonight. Merry Christmas to all the fringers. Dutchy, thank you so much. I got your shirts verified and sent out today as well, Dutchy, for you and the missus. So I hope you guys enjoy those. Thank you again for all the help you've given to this channel and especially to our vets. Let's get on. I'm gonna get through the pleasantries of bringing everybody up to speed of what's going on, and then I'm pretty much gonna let Matt and PJ take over because, I'm gonna take up drinking. There's a lot going on here. Let's do a little recap for anybody who missed or
read the statement, and then we'll tell everybody how much it sucks.
Yep, let's go. We'll do it live. Let's start with the Twitter spheres. If for all my American viewers or anybody who missed yesterday's predictable vote. Here's Marty up north reminding everybody that the motion to build a pipeline was defeated by a vote of 196 against 139 for every party in the House of Commons except the Conservatives are against building an oil pipeline. The MOU that Danielle Smith signed with Ottawa is not even worth the paper it's written on. Well, no kidding. Alberta can't have nice things. It's time to admit Confederation is a failed experiment and go on our own. Note, this is a vote to an amendment of the original motion, but all parties agreed to apply it to the main motion. Now, that's very important as we move forward because I reached out to Danielle Smith's office, of course. Right? I reached out to Danielle's office and I asked them, look, it's been 24 hours. You guys haven't said anything. Care to make a little statement about Danielle's stance now that this is done? Because I tweeted Danielle out and said, well, looks like, Canada isn't working for us. There's no intention for a pipeline. We're not going to give them industrial carbon tax money because why bother? Got to say, I was a little disappointed with the statement that came out from Danielle's office. Let's go over it. Jason Levine tweeted this out. I reached out to him and I want to show what he said afterwards because I'm sure this is going to make people's piss go to a boil just like it did with mine. But Jason had a little bit of a take on it, and then we're going to get the co-hosts' opinions while we hear from you guys. This came from Sam, Danielle Smith's press secretary. Regarding today's Conservative Party of Canada motion in Parliament, the Premier's understanding is the federal government voted against the motion as it wasn't a vote to support the entire MOU, even though it says that it was amended to support the whole thing. Rather, it was a vote to support selected portions of the MOU. She has been assured that the federal government continues to support the entirety of the MOU as written. So trust us, bro. We're still going to hold up our end, even though we voted against it. The Premier is committed to upholding Alberta's end of the MOU in good faith and expects the Prime Minister and his government to do the same. So that paragraph is what really irked me out of the whole message. So Danielle Smith formally announcing I'm going to support the industrial carbon tax going up, even though Mark Carney has voted against the pipeline, hoping that he'll keep up his end of the deal. Now, her stance could change between now and April, but that's a pretty piss-poor statement, given that Danielle should have used her or else approach once that vote went through, in my opinion. Now, what they go on to say is she looks forward to continuing the work on partnering with the federal government towards the construction of a private, Indigenous co-owned 1 million barrel per day new pipeline to Asian markets, as well as the other critical improvements to the investment climate outlined in the MOU. So, in other words, we're just going to keep going on our merry little way. I wasn't happy about this. So I reached out to Jason Levine. I've got this interesting little slide here for you guys. I compiled all of the text, so we're going to go through it here. Because I asked him, what do I do with this? Like, Jason ran for the PPC. He's been around politicians for a while. He's got a very successful show on YouTube. In fact, he's told me that I'm supposed to talk to PJ after the show because he wants to have PJ on there as well. But we're going to have Jason on here at some point. But I reached out to him and said, hey, you worked with politicians. What the hell is Danielle doing here? Where do we go from here, Jason? He says, basically, the premier is acknowledging that the vote was a bad result and is trying to take the pragmatic side of the UCP. I had Rob Smith on the show this morning, and he was clear. There's two sides to the UCP, the pragmatic independence and the angry independence. Frankly, that's good. They both want independence, so there is a divide on independence. Only the now versus in due time sides. I don't know what he means by that. This statement, in my honest opinion, is an attempt to get the angry to calm down a bit. First off, how do we calm down when you see that Danielle is going forward on industrial carbon tax and telling us she's moving the goalposts again? So let me repeat that. The statement, in my honest opinion, is an attempt to get the angry to calm down a bit and understand the Pierre motion. Yeah, the Pierre motion was non-binding and exposed what the parliament really thinks. So no pipeline. With all that said, what else could the premier say at this point? Pierre has been tossing her under the bus for weeks, and he's trying to ruffle the feathers of the Liberals against Carney. If Pierre really wanted to start a fire, he should let us know where he stands on independence instead of making Danielle Smith look bad. I said, well, technically during his by-election, he said he was against independence. He already said where he stood in an interview. And I said, that being said, the issue isn't Danielle wanting the movement to calm down. The problem is she's moving forward with the industrial carbon tax by stating she's going to move forward in good faith with the agreement. He says, well, if she didn't, Carney could say she broke the deal and backed out. Politically, she needs to stay the course and call his bluff. Doing the industrial carbon tax on April 1st then puts the ball into Carney's court to accept the proposal on the major projects list for July 1st. If he does not, that would put him in breach of the MOU, and Danielle Smith is off the hook as trying everything to work with him. Now, I have an issue with that because what he's essentially saying is if this was Danielle's plan, her plan is essentially to make us pay more for our goods and rip money out of our pockets to play chicken with Mark Carney. At a time where Albertans, not to mention all Canadians, can't afford their rent, their utilities, their food, their gas, their insurance, playing chicken with our dollars isn't exactly something I'm on board with. But he goes on to say if she did anything to stop the MOU based on the motion being voted down, I think it would make her look weak for signing it in the first place. Again, I already think she does. Pierre has really put Danielle Smith in an uncomfortable situation, but I do like seeing the result as it exposed the Parliament and their thinking along with Mark Carney. Well, we already knew where they stood. He says, in my honest opinion, we are in a full-on divorce, and Danielle Smith is trying to bring the moderate vote with her towards independence. So, all that being said, PJ, let's start off with you because I've kept you in the back there for so long. What's your take on what's been said and Jason's take on things?
I appreciate it, man. I guess I'm a proud member of the angry independence camp. I have no problem saying that. I had a whole week where I was really pissed off at Danielle Smith, for lack of a better word. The way I view it is, like, there's so much more she could be doing. Of course, there are certain things that she's doing that kind of, you can give her the benefit of the doubt of like, you know what, maybe she's just laying the groundwork, creating the perfect conditions to then get the people that are moderate to come into the fold for independence. But there are other things that are like, okay, that makes absolutely no sense unless she's simply a federalist. And I was one of the people that was finding myself kind of making excuses for her. And then I just said, you know what, no more. I make no excuses for no politician. And I find myself making excuses, doing all this mental gymnastics, which I'll say Jason kind of did there a little bit with the whole like, oh, you know what, maybe she's kind of getting things prepared. I think Danielle was just trying to not look weak, which she does anyway, to your point, Fringe. She looks weak anyway. Every time that you have Mark Carney stand up in the House of Commons and say, there's no pipeline without the natives, there's no pipeline without BC, that throws the whole toilet paper MOU out the window, man. And then I took a lot of heat for saying the things that I said about Danielle Smith. People are saying, you're probably an NDP operative and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know what? That's a false dichotomy, because if I'm holding a politician that I support to account, it's because I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to get her to keep her word. And she did say she would create more sovereignty for Alberta. And she has not been doing that. She's done a couple little things here and there, but she hasn't been doing it to the extent that she could with Alberta Police. Why do we still have the RCMP here? Alberta Revenue, Alberta Pension. All these things need to start happening, and I don't see them happening.
How about you, Matt?
I think she's just playing the same game that she's been playing the whole time. At the end of the day, she's a politician. Politicians are going to politician. They're going to ride the line. They're going to coast. And you always got to keep in the back of your mind that not all of them are 100% here for a cause. Half of them are here to get their money, their salary, get their pension, and fuck off into the sunset. Sorry, there's one. Trying to keep the YouTube AI scanner sensors away from us. I got to not swear. So honestly, I think it's just more of the same, to be fair. I mean, she hasn't changed her tune in months. She's been just riding the middle, trying to play it down the line, and maybe she has a plan, maybe she's just doing whatever. But either way, at the end of the day, as it goes for independence, it doesn't really matter. You need her in office, because if it's anybody else, they're going to shut down any hope for getting to the vote. So whether you're pissed at Danielle or you're not, or you think she's doing this or she thinks she's doing that, you still need her in office to get to the vote, but you don't need her to be independent.
Oh, for sure, man. But in the meantime, and let me just quickly add a thing in there.
Go ahead.
We gotta hold her to account, though. Like we gotta make sure that she keeps the word. She keeps her word as far as the things that she did promise. You know.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because like I was talking with Keith Wilson last week. We had him on the show, and he said, what you have to remember about these politicians is that no matter what their statements are, they're going to follow wherever the voters are going, because let's face it, they want to keep their jobs. So what we have to realize is that one way or another, we're getting the vote next year. Keith, which by the way, I'll pull it up. Keith is going to be doing he's challenged Tommy the Commie to a debate. You got Rise of Alberta pointing out today, Keith Wilson just called Tom Lukaszuk for a debate on Alberta independence. Do you think he'll accept? No, Tommy will not accept. You've got down here Keith with his formal statement. Tom believes Albertans will be better off remaining in Canada. I sincerely believe our kids have a brighter future through Alberta's independence. I'm proposing that Thomas and I hold public, respectful debate on the important question to ensure a fair and professional discussion. I suggest Ryan Jesperson as moderator, and we do it live on Real Talk Ryan Jesperson's show. Thoughts? Now, he's not going to reply. He's not going to do anything about it. In fact, Jason Levine showing, I asked the outcome to AI, and this is what they predicted. Yeah, we'd all like to see that.
I would rather see a charity boxing match than a debate, to be honest.
But
Keith is brave, man, because he even said, you know what? Let Ryan Jesperson, who's a leftist, the guy is a freaking leftist. He's Nancy's press guy. And he's saying, you know what, let Ryan do it. We got the facts, so he's not worried about it.
Yeah, it's first off, Keith would completely destroy Tommy in a debate. But the fact of the matter is that Keith is very smart around the laws. He knows Danielle, to my knowledge, pretty well over the years. He consulted with her during the pandemic, as well as a plethora of other times. She's brought him up in the legislature, but I've asked Keith's take too, and he's always said that, look, he's not impressed with some of the decisions she makes, but he also supports some of the decisions she's made for Alberta. He for one mentions the RCMP. I think the RCMP's got to go as well. I've always questioned, Danielle, when she talks about her mandates, she ran on replacing the RCMP in her campaign. She ran on an Alberta pension plan. Why was she doing the Alberta Next panels to try and get more permission or see if it's popular to move forward with those things when that's what she was elected on? Now, they did announce at the AGM, okay, we're going to move the legislation forward. We're going to do something. Why did it take a couple of years to get there? Well, I know you know why. I'm just saying the hypocrisy of it all makes me question that if you're going to do that, when she talks about should the independence vote pass and we get a new mandate, I'm going to respect that. Well, she also said she was going to get RCMP and a pension going. So what are the odds she's going to stick with a yes vote on independence if we get it through?
She's about halfway through her term, right? About half.
But between half and three quarters. The next election will be in 2027.
You'll notice a trend, and this is true for Canadian politics and American politics. Whatever promises they made, right at about the halfway point is when they start talking about, okay, now I'm going to start doing it, because now it's time to start thinking about re-election. All of them, every single one, from Canada and the US. They spend the first half of their term undoing whatever nonsense they don't like from the previous people. And then in the middle, they start trying to deliver on their promises. And then the last year, they're just 100% focused on getting reelected.
Yeah, man, she's got, we have to, the way I view it is we have to hold our feet to the fire. That's just what I always come back to. And we have to, I think we're better off being skeptical. I want Danielle Smith in power I would much rather she's in power than Nenshi. Nenshi would be a nightmare for Alberta. Terrible nightmare. I think that guy would be much worse than Rachel Notley, and Rachel Notley was insane. I think Nenshi would be much worse. But that shouldn't keep us from holding her to account, from reminding her, hey, lady, you work for us. And you better start. And if we're like, you know what, if I criticize her, then I might be working, making Nenshi's job easier. Well, I shouldn't view it that way. That's just not, it's a false equivalent there. Like, I can support her and vote for her. I would never vote NDP, ever. I'll vote UCP, but we also have to remind her, like, hey, you work for us.
Susan has a point here. She's playing death by delay for the independence movement. She's not who people thought she was. I'd play it that I think what she's doing is exactly what we're discussing here. She's playing the field to see where the people are going, like Keith said. If she finds, and this is going to be very telling, once APP starts collecting their signatures near the end of January. Again, what I think needs to be shown is how fast do they get the signatures that they're looking for in the middle of winter, for that matter, because they've got, a little bit of a, if you were to say that they didn't already have their registry with people committed to sign, they would have a really uphill challenge compared to Lakazak, who ran his in the summer. But it'll be interesting to see how quickly they get their numbers and how many they attain, because should APP get 600, 700, 1 million signatures on there, then all of a sudden that shows the UCP and that shows Danielle Smith, well, there's 3 million registered Albertans to vote in the province. And if 1 million are signing on the intent of a referendum, the wind may start blowing that, hey, we got to change course. My concern is that while Danielle still caters towards a united Canada, will it be too late for her to right the ship, so to speak, and get on board with an independence movement if there's support?
It was starting to look rough for her, man. The last week, I was starting to get scared that, and I mean genuinely scared, because this would potentially hand a potential victory to the NDP, but I was like the whole conversation, the whole back and forth between Jeffrey Rath and her. I mean, it's not a conversation. Jeffrey's just always tweeting at her and going off on her and, putting her feet to the fire. But I fear that if there's a division, if she continues behaving the way she is, kind of ignoring for the most part and not delivering on the items, which I think she kind of got the message after the AGM, because notice she came out with the Castle Law situation, pro-gun owner, pro-license gun owner, and that's a good thing. That's a positive thing, something she should have done long ago. And should go further than that. But if she continues to not do right by her base, this base is her base is very active. Like, people are very freaking active, man. Like, people are watching what's going on with her, and a lot more people are going to continue to realize, okay, she's not moving forward. Just like that comment we just read, she's playing the death of the independence movement by delay. People are getting very impatient, and a larger and larger percentage every day becomes more impatient with her, and that could spell doom for the UCP, and she knows it.
Well, it's very telling because, like you said earlier, if Nenshi gets in, we're all in trouble. Nenshi will dismantle this province, not only financially, but he'll repeal bills like Bill 54. He will make sure that an independence vote never happens, that a referendum is basically squashed, any hope of it. Even if we had one by the time he gets in and it's failed, we'll never see another chance to have another vote. I'm going to get a little bit more into how that vote split might work now that people on her base and Danielle's base are starting to kind of panic a little bit. I got to get to a few super chats because I don't want to keep people waiting on those. Let's go. Tony, $10 super chat, 750 likes. I'll pay for his and hers hoodies. Well, there you go, guys. Get 750 likes in there. And I guess 2 hoodies going out to one lucky couple on the stream. Jancor, becoming a member for 14 months, gout, diarrhea, and Chardonnay. Woohoo. I'm not sure what that's for. I hope that's not happening with you at the moment, but thank you for being a member for 14 months. Sylvia, $20 super chat. Merry Christmas to your family. Same to you. Thank you very much for that. Kevin, coming in with $5 super chat. Can Alberta build an oil pipeline through the Northwest Territory and Yukon to Alaska for export? Could Ottawa force it through territories like the Keystone XL? I'm assuming you're asking for 3 or 2 different potential pipelines there. I'm really not sure on the negotiation that goes. Keystone's already been approved. It's the American side that has to put that through. So I guess if Donald comes to the table and says, we're ready to talk Keystone, or I'm not sure if it's the states that have to agree to those things, like the different states that it goes through. But as far as I know, Canada's side is already clear and ready to go. Danielle has said that potentially those negotiations will start up again. In terms of the Yukon, I don't know, PJ, have you heard anything about it? I haven't heard anything about a Yukon.
Well, I did a report about I don't know if you heard about this, but there was a rail proposal in 2020, 2021. It finally died due to some financial scandals with the owner. Whole bunch of shenanigans going on there financially. But the territories are a lot easier to negotiate with. At least they were up to that point. Both the Northwest, I think it went up to the Northwest Territories, then the Yukon, and then into Alaska, and that was the rail. And that turned out to be a lot easier for permitting purposes. And it was under Trudeau. So if that is any indication of what a pipeline would look like, it's a lot more difficult to ship out oil. Well, I guess he said out of Alaska. He didn't say out of the Yukon, like the North Coast, like way up in the Arctic, out of Alaska.
I don't think
I think that'd be easier. But then again, we might as well just go south and go through Montana and build Keystone, which a bunch of pipe has already been laid, right?
Yep. Hopefully that answers your question, Kevin. Thank you again for the super chat. Bradley, $2 super chat. We should be pushing independence even more now. I'm hoping that with, again, the response, like, look, I don't like dictating Danielle's responses, especially those ones where, again, tempers can get flared. But for journalistic integrity, we have to. But if there is a positive out of that, over the next couple of months, it's only going to fuel the independence movement even more, because people are going to say, okay, that's it. If she's not even on board, we're moving ahead. Thanks to Bill 14 and Bill 54, we can move ahead with it. APP now has it in their hands, folks. And if they garner their signatures, which we know they're going to get, the government is obligated to put forward the referendum. They have to, according to their laws. So, yes, hopefully the independence movement is surging after this. Doug with a $5 super chat, from U.S. vet to Canadian vets, much respect. Thank you for your service, and thank you for the $5 super chat. That's much appreciated. Mike Freedom Honey, $2 super chat. Y'all a bunch of angry white dudes. Hey, that's what Tommy says.
And we're armed to the teeth.
We're armed to the teeth. We're armed to the teeth.
Yep.
You got one thing right.
Dudes.
Mr. Alberto, the $5 super chat. Did you hear Berta Proud Dad is giving a statement on Jeff Rath? It's tough. I love Jeff, but I also know he's turning people off. So we'll talk about Jeff in 1 second. I want to talk about, because it kind of feeds into where I want to get. This just happened. Tucker, $50 super sticker. Thank you so much for supporting our vets. You guys are amazing. Don't forget, guys, 750 likes. Somebody's getting 2 his and hers matching hoodies tonight. Get those likes in. Let's talk a bit about the potential of where things can go here. Because one thing I worry about when we were talking about Nenshi a second ago is a vote split. When you have the Alberta Republicans, Cam Davies throwing shots at Danielle Smith, you've got the UCP walking away and ignoring their base, essentially, or a large portion of their base that want independence. Well, now you've got MLA Peter Guthrie. Hang on, I'm trying to bring this in here. You've got Peter Guthrie, who's now going to be an independent MLA and assume the leadership of the Alberta Party. Why is it not bringing it in? Why is there a delay on the screen here? Let's try adding that again. There we go. Independent MLA Peter Guthrie assumes the Alberta Party leadership. So he is going to join a couple other UCP MLAs in boosting the Alberta Party once again to say, hey, you don't have to vote for Danielle anymore because we like independence, so vote for us. There's going to be other people throwing their hat into the ring. This is where I was talking about the fuckery that's going to happen in this country when you look at the attacks from the Conservatives and the Liberals in the House of Commons. Because let's face it, folks, the Conservatives don't want to lose their party in an election or in a referendum. If Alberta leaves, their party is decimated. Yeah, their party's gone. They'd look like the NDP. So they don't want anything happening. So you're going to see shenanigans on that end. You're going to see all these wolves in sheep's clothing coming out now and saying, we like independence. We're going to form our own party. We're going to get votes. We're going to do this and that. Everybody needs to stay focused on APP. That's where it should stay for now. Let's get the vote and then see where the chips fall, because we'd still have like a whole year after a referendum vote to decide who's getting voted for what with a 2027 election. Pair that with all of the recalls going on in the province right now. We're up to 20 recalls in the province, Danielle Smith being one of them, and only one NDP out of those 20 recalls, folks. So we're in big trouble. PJ, what do you take on the recalls? What do you think's going to happen there?
Dude, the thing with the left is that they're organized. You got to give them that. They're organized and they're freaking passionate. They're insane. Their level of craziness makes them be very active and hysterical. Picture your average crazy lunatic woke chick, just freaking with a little pigtail and it's all blue hair, and she attends every single freaking protest, and she's pro-choice and everything. The thing with those people is that they're active. Guys like you, myself, most of the people, the women watching this, they have work to do. They got children. These women got no kids. They got 5-6 cats. They have a lot of time in their hands, and they're very organized. And the biggest, the real opposition to Danielle Smith, besides the NDP, is the union operation. Mm-hmm. The unions are the problem. And the unions believe that they own Alberta. You got that Gil McGowan POS, and everything he leads, right? And that's who Danielle Smith is up against. Now, if Albertans are truly united, which is up to Danielle Smith, she can unite us, Fringe. I honestly believe she can. She just has to keep her damn word. If she keeps her word, man, she doesn't have to worry about the Alberta Party. if she keeps her word and continues to keep taxes low and does the things that we talked about a moment ago, making us sovereign, even if within Canada, while we're here, make us more sovereign, you know? If she does those things, there are more of us than there are of them.
Yeah. It's one thing that always shocks me, and I'm not gonna quote the person who told me this because they're in and around politics, and there's somebody who's very close to, they work with politicians, and they told me about a conversation they had with Danielle when she was coming up the ranks to run for premier. And they asked that, hey, if Alberta ever decided to break away, when you're talking about the pandemic and everything else, the tyranny that went on, they said, where would you stand if we were to help you get elected into the premier's chair? And she says, if you want independence, I'm your girl. Now, that was a couple of years ago. So what's changed between now and then? That's what I'm wondering.
The RL's video. If you have it, please put it up.
Well, and that's so the problem with the RLs is that when she says the RLs was originally, she said to Ezra Levant, Dr. Modry in the APP. So why is she this is part of what Jason Levine was saying to me today. Well, I feel that we're already in that or else moment. She just isn't saying it. And I said, so more 4D chess? And he says, it appears so. But like he says, we're kind of in the or else moment because she's letting them run with collecting signatures. She's saying that they'll host a referendum by fall of next year, that, independence, well, it's going to do its own citizen-led initiative, so she doesn't have to touch her hands with it. But she's not doing us any favors at the same time, like you say, with her base and by sitting on the sidelines. So you can't, somebody said it in the comments earlier, she's trying to please everybody and you can't please everybody, but just give us a crumb, give us something to work with that tells us you're looking to our side as well, that you're listening to us. That's where I get frustrated with her in her office, is that, when I spoke with her privately about independence, she heard what I had to say. She wanted to talk about it. But then you ask her to do it publicly. Oh, no, we're not going to talk about it. Why are you always so, I get it. They're worried about optics, but you've got a very large portion of your base that are invested in independence. They've had enough and they're frustrated. Could you not address them for 5 minutes? I just don't get it.
That's where I'm at too. I feel like she's just playing politician. Once again, like I said earlier, she's just riding the line. And I feel Danielle Smith is the kind of person who just caters to whoever's in front of her at the moment. Like when you were in her office, she said what you wanted to hear. And when she's talking to Mark Carney, she says what he wants to hear. And she's just riding the line, and she'll ride the wave, whichever it goes. So our job is to make the wave very obvious and point it in the right direction. So she'll ride it.
Well, and again, like I said, if signatures get collected fast enough and at an astounding rate and number, well, then all of a sudden she might come out and say something. And that's what I'm worried about, is that if she comes out at that point and says, oh, well, now, yes, I've been playing 4D chess the whole time, folks, it was me all along, people are going to say, shove it. They're not, because they're going to be so fed up with her. That'll be her Pierre Poilievre moment, where everyone will be like, yeah, right. By the way, I want to bring this up. Mike TV Dub, sub to PJ the Belt. If you guys aren't already, I say it all the time when we mention PJ on the show. Go give the man a sub. A lot of people thought,
thank you guys,
because you had a show last week where you'd mentioned I want to get invited on channels, and people thought, oh, he called Fringe out, he's on the channel. No, guys, I've talked to PJ since what, summer? I think we met up at the Whistle Stop.
We met at the Alberta Day thing.
Yeah, so look, we text each other. We've got each other's contacts. I've been meaning to get you on the show for a while, man. But as soon as I saw that podcast, I was like, shit, I've been a really lousy friend. I got to get PJ on the channel, because I've been meaning to, but it's like, no, like
dude, I don't. I was a longtime viewer of yours. Still am, actually. I subscribed to you in like 2 or 3 of my personal accounts. I watched you first when I was all involved with the conservative, we're going to win, and, and hopefully we're going to get a super majority, and it's going to be like the Mulrooney conservatives from the 80s or whatever. And you had like 20,000 subscribers, and I was watching every single day, man, and following. And yeah, and when I met you, dude, it was, I saw you, yo, Fringe, from across the field at the Whistle Stop. And yeah, man, I've never had an issue. I just literally told it, because people kept asking me. It's like, hey, why don't you go? And I'm like, well, he knows me. He knows where I'm at, and you know. And then there's people always talking smack in the
Oh,
comments.
you've always got
And you try to avoid, you know, you're like, yeah, you know, I'm going to allow you because I believe in free speech, but I'm not going to engage in that, you know.
It's funny because like people always think that these YouTubers have all these controversies with each other, and I always go, well, there is some drama, but for the most part, we all get along. We know we're on the same team, and I'm just really bad at keeping in touch with people. That's all it is on my end. I love having guests on the show. JP Alberta First, $20 super chat. As a decades-long advocate for independence, voting UCP is just a no-brainer for Alberta. However, we recently have started becoming very partisan. We cannot afford to alienate anybody. We must get back to nonpartisan. I agree with that. It's a very good point. The last thing we want to do is sorry, Matt, your screen. You wanted to bring up your screen?
Yeah, whip it up. This is Alberta First shared this today. So this is what we need to do. Straight up. Don't alienate anybody. There are some people that you can talk to. They're never going to listen. They're just going to in your face and like, you know, street about climate change and Black Lives Matter and flip the table over. But you can gauge who you can actually have a conversation with. And, you know, we say it on the channel every week, subscribe to everyone in the space. PG the Belt, Fringe, you know, everybody.
John Bolton. Go give John a follow. Yeah, John's a great guy too.
Even Jeffrey Rath. Watch him rant a little bit. Alberta.
We're gonna get to Jeff Rath in a second.
But have conversations with people. Read the literature. Read the what's the name of the document from the APP?
The Value of Freedom.
The Value of Freedom. Read the Value of Freedom. You know, and play the long game. We're trying to get to the vote. Yes, we need to talk about Danielle and whatever it is she's doing, and yes, we need to hold her accountable. But the bottom line is we need the UCP in charge to get to the vote, because if anybody else gets it, not that the Liberals have ever won anything in Alberta, but if the NDP, who are probably number 2 in Alberta, get it, you're done. You're cooked. You're not going to get the vote. So play the long game, wait it out, and watch the Fringe and PG the Belt.
Can I ask you guys a question? And this may not be on the agenda, but just a quick question in regards to the whole independence situation. What do you guys think of the Parti Québécois and the Quebec people and Paul Saint-Pierre, Plamondon, and all those people having met with the APP? Like, do you think they're a friend, or is it like a Trojan horse type of situation? I think it could be a positive because they want independence, and they know how to get there.
I'll start off by saying, you know, when Rebel News was doing their tour back in, well, it was either April or May, the Done Getting Screwed panel that they were hosting, they had it in Alberta, different venues. Ezra Levant talked about how in the 90s referendum from Quebec, they essentially had this dictionary. It was all in French, that he'd seen it, that any question anybody had on a Quebec separation or referendum, where were services going to come from, money come from, it was almost like the value of freedom times a million. Like any question somebody had, they virtually had an answer for in this giant encyclopedia type dictionary. And he says, I wished I'd kept a copy of it or knew where to find one and have it translated into English, because it would help Alberta. So when you know that Quebec knows the score when it comes to having a referendum, I think it's beneficial. But at the same time, I also think that what you see going on with in the House with the party, with the Bloc, Blanchette's come out and he starts criticizing Alberta and pipelines and oil and gas. He's criticizing us getting a vote. I think a lot of it is they don't want the limelight being taken away from Quebec, because of course they're getting ramped up for their own referendum. And I don't think I think they want to go before we do. So it's kind of one of those, I'd like to think it's beneficial, but I also never trust a politician. So my first go-to is a Trojan horse. Yep. It's a Trojan horse to me all the way. Matt, where do you stand?
I would just once again like to open with the fact that there's a party in Quebec called the CAQ. Just makes me laugh every time. But I was actually talking to Marika about this the other week, and like she knows more about Quebec politics than I do. I don't really pay attention to it. I'm just kind of learning as I go. But one thing that she said and that I didn't understand is that the provincial parties in Quebec are different than the Bloc. The Bloc is their federal party, and then the provincial party is separate from that. So whatever the Bloc is doing in the House with Mark Carney and all them is completely separate from the Separatist Party that's leading in the polls right now in Quebec.
Yeah, the PQ.
So that's cool. And I mean, if they want to leave Canada too, then go ahead. I mean, either way, the transfer payments stop, right? Because they're not part of Canada anymore and the deal goes null and void.
We got here, Derek letting you know as well, instead of CAC, they used to call the police force come. Really? Did they really do that?
Oh, I'm going to come.
Do not come.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
I'm going to do it.
Gotta love that. It's they definitely did call it that. Quebec, I think Quebec ultimately, like, I think they're going to push for their referendum in 2026, especially if Alberta starts to gain steam. It's going to become a competition of wits, essentially, who can get it faster. But boy, isn't that going to look bad for the federal government if two provinces are talking about going at the same time? I mean, I always say Carney's Canada is collapsing, but it would literally be collapsing because they can't do anything about Quebec, and they'd be going full bore to try and stop Alberta because their credit card's leaving. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2026. Let's talk about Jeff Rath, because I've been delaying that one for a bit. Alberta Proud Dad releasing a statement about Jeff Rath saying that, hey, I want you to pull back a bit. I've often said, Jeff is passionate. Jeff kind of barked back at that statement today saying, look, I'm doing what PJ suggested earlier. We're holding Danielle's feet to the fire. He says, I don't have a problem with Danielle Smith. I don't want her removed from office. I just want her to start representing the portion of her base that wants independence. So while Jeff can be a little hot-headed at times, and again, I have a bias because I've spoken to him so many times. He'll call me on a Wednesday and just, shoot the shit about one thing he saw on Twitter. And before you know it, we're on the phone for an hour and a half. So, the guy's got a million things to talk about. And is it always like the most polite? No, but that's Jeff. He's a cowboy lawyer. He's a Western cowboy lawyer. PJ, what's your take? Because a lot of people have been saying that Jeff needs to get out. He needs to leave, or at least tone down his voice. Where do you see it?
All right. Well, I'm going to show you which team I'm with. I'm going to switch the cap. This is the team I'm with.
He's in Jeff's cap.
There you go, man. That's the team I'm with. No, man, look, Jeff is the real deal. Jeffrey Rath is the real deal, and we're better. The Alberta Independence movement is better off for him. Like, we're better off because he's in it. We need a dog, man. We need a real guy. We need a real person who holds politicians' feet to the fire. The thing with Jeffrey Rath, man, is for one, he's a lawyer. He's a litigator, and he's not the same kind of litigator that is Keith Wilson is. Keith Wilson is more of the intellectual. Jeff is more of one of those fighters, one of those lawyers that you bring in when you want, for a fight. He's been fighting the freaking provincial government and the federal government on behalf of the Indians, of the Native Canadians for a long time, right? So that'll make you cynical, man. And as long as he's fighting on our behalf, and people think that because he's attacking Danielle Smith, that he wants the NDP elected. Not once. He let Nenshi have it all the time. He's always telling Nenshi off and calling Nenshi what Nenshi actually is, just POS. Let me try to keep it clean here. But yeah, no, we're better. The movement is better because Jeffrey Rath is in it. He's just holding Danielle to account. He's holding her feet to the fire. And we shouldn't put any politician on a pedestal. And Jeffrey Rath knows that very well. So on this one, I'm going to take Jeffrey's side.
I agree. There's Gerald. Derek, you need a cowboy hat. Listen, I've got one. I'm an Albertan. I've got a cowboy hat. I just, the only reason I haven't done a cowboy hat is I worried because, what is it, Ryan over at Northern Perspective, he started wearing one after he went to the Calgary Stampede. And I thought, well, if I put one on, if I start rocking one on my show, everybody's going to be like, you're just copying Ryan now. And it's, no, I'm not. I'm from Alberta. That's what we do out here. But you need to rock that hat from now on, PJ. I'm telling you, get that with some aviators, the ones with the mirrors on the inside. I think I think that's the look for you, man. I love the hat.
I'm in Alberta. I'm not wearing a cowboy hat.
Oh, well, then don't come, man. That's if you can't be a cowboy, you don't belong in Alberta. I'll tell you that much. It's at least 10 days out of the year during the stampede season. You got to rock the
You
cowboy.
have
Well,
to,
that's
man. You
how
have to.
Poilievre does it. Just wear a cowboy hat for the stampede.
Fake cowboy. Let's get a few super chats taken care of here. Carnage Carney, thank you, Steve, for the $10 super chat. Carney didn't play Smith, more like Smith played Carney. Every time people get upset with her, something positive happens to show her plan is working. That plan is more support for APP. So I guess, yeah, whichever way you want to look at it this way, folks, is up to you. I always say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, the important thing is that, again, and I've said it a million times, we got to keep our eyes focused on the prize. Right now, it should always be, how do we get our vote? Now that APP is cleared for their signatures, which thank God for, I know a lot of people are talking about loopholes in Bill 14, but thank God Bill 14 at least got APP's question out of the courts. I know so many people were arguing about, well, the judge said that it goes against, the charter and everything else for Indigenous. It doesn't matter. It was rejected. It's out. So had we have not had that happen, again, another win from the UCP, APP would now be saying, well, what do we do now? Now we got to wait and hope that, Lukaszik's petition gets held as a constitutional question. So there are wins and gains, folks. I'll say it now because I'm sure I can already see in the comments when the stream's over, oh, you're towing the line for Danielle. I'm towing the line for Alberta. I want Alberta to get their vote. I want the independence vote. And I don't want to see, should anything fail in that first run, I don't want to see Alberta go to the NDP, and I don't want to certainly see it get destroyed. I want a second opportunity. I want another chance, because one way or another, folks, Alberta's got to pack their bags and get the hell out of here. How dare you? $5 super chat. PJ, if you're pissed, well, my head is about to pop off and start rolling to Edmonton, and I'm almost 70. There you go. Thank you for the super chat. It's Mike, $5 super chat. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. It's a never-ending cycle. War never changes, right? It's Matt. Where do you stand on Rath? What do you think about Jeff Rath? Do you think Rath's gonna bow out, or do you think he just keeps going?
I don't know him as well as either of you guys do. I'm not in Alberta, and I haven't met him or had a conversation with him. But from what I've seen, he's just really passionate, and people take that for aggression or like whatever. Like, he's not saying anything different than really what we've said about Danielle, about holding her to account. He's just, loud about it. So, I mean, he's on our side. We're all have the same goal. Roll with it.
I want to bring up, again, a hypothetical, because PJ, while you're on the channel, I know, like, our videos, I've tried to say, let's play it safe. And I know some videos come out from people where they're like, nah, man, we got to go full bore. And that's not a blame thing or anything, because John Bolton does it as well. I've done it too. So we've got this wave we're riding right now. And kind of like what Jason was saying earlier, you have the hardcore independents, and then you have the independents that are kind of, taking a step back and taking the emotion out of it. So let's say we wipe the slate clean of Danielle signing an MOU or working with Carney or making the stupid comments about a united Canada. What do you think Danielle needs to do if we're to move forward with an independence vote to qualm the negativity from those who want a referendum to be called yesterday, or those who want her to give her blessing or her nod? How do we move forward with those individuals, or how should Danielle satisfy the needs for those individuals, do you think, in order to maintain her seat should the referendum fail?
Man, in my opinion, it's pretty simple, actually. She just needs to keep her promises that she made when she was running. When she was running, she said she would create a sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. I don't agree with the united Canada part, but I do agree with the sovereign Alberta. What does a sovereign Alberta within a united Canada look like? We don't have to guess. Her platform says it. We already know. If she does those things, majority of Albertans, the NDP doesn't stand a chance. I think 60% probably of the Alberta electorate is conservative, hardline conservative, either fiscally conservative or both fiscally and traditionally speaking conservative. So if she does those things, and what does that look like? Again, going back to Alberta Police, don't just start consulting again. Actually get her done. our own revenue and move towards those things. Start an office, just like you started an office for this pipeline situation. How about you invest $20-30 million and start some sort of little office to start working on collecting our own taxes here? How about you take more ownership of our immigration system, like Quebec does. Quebec already does those things. I like to always end that conversation with, if Quebec can do it, why can't Alberta? Why don't we start collecting our own taxes, controlling our own immigration, bringing in our own police, get the RCMP out of here, and those who are good officers in the RCMP can apply to Alberta Police. And then what's the other? Alberta Pension Plan. Start doing those things. And she's like, well, but the polls and this and that. Lady, you want a majority. If you keep the promises to your base, you will always keep your base. But when you try to cater to the middle and try to cater to everybody, not even the middle, they try to cater to the other side that'll never vote for them, then you're going to end up like Jason Kenney. You're not going to get either side. You're going to lose your base and the side that will never vote for you anyways.
That was part of the discussion I had with her at the AGM when I went to the hospitality suites, when she kind of poked her head in, and, I was there. Mitch Sylvester was there. Keith was there. And we all kind of got a few minutes with her. But one of the things I said was, look, your business is your business, and I'm not there behind closed doors at the reasons for everything you guys do. But I said, I don't understand why you're so worried about the unions, why you're so worried about the teachers union coming after you and everything. Like, you're trying to please them almost. They're not going to vote for you anyways, even if you give them everything they want. Either way, they destroy your job. Like I said, let's say hypothetically you gave the teachers the double the deal that you gave them, where we'd have to go $3 billion into debt as a province. They'd take their money and run, and then they'd still say you're the devil. So it doesn't really matter what you give them, and then she's not going to stop pointing the finger at you. So why the hell aren't we just squashing things like the recall legislation and saying it's being abused? Your base will stay with you. They aren't going anywhere. I believe Mitch told her the same thing. You need to get rid of these recalls. You got to squash that down. So then her press secretary comes out and says there's no plans to do that at all, at least before the end of the year. So I guess my concern with these recalls is, what if, like, you're talking about a majority government, what if we see a couple of UCP recalls and we got to go to the election polls? It's just another distraction to prevent independence.
It's a mess.
Yeah, man. Oh, you go ahead, man. Sorry.
Well, no, I say the same thing. Like, she just has to keep telling the feds to kick rocks, like she did with the guns, like she did with the speech legislation, and using the notwithstanding clause to protect the kids in the schools and to make the teachers go back to work. And yes, there's no point in trying to win over the polyamorous, they, them, blue-haired commies. Like, they're never going to vote for you. Even if you give them everything and then some extra on top of that, they're still going to be like, no. So why bother? Why bother addressing them at all?
Yep, there's more of us than there are of them in Alberta. And if she tries to please them, she's going to lose us.
And they're all mainly concentrated in Calgary and Edmonton.
That's it, man. Out here in the woods, out here in the sticks, it's mostly us.
Because you have to, you can't survive out there on DoorDash. You have to work for a living. Those are the kind of people who will starve when DoorDash stops delivering, or they won't know what to do when Amazon won't bring them their latest package.
Yep.
Bradley agrees as well. $2 super chat. Thank you. Show some effing teeth and claws. I agree. You don't have to get aggressive with it, but at the very least, you got to start stomping those fires out and saying, look, it's just another distraction. Again, like, go look at anybody who doesn't know what Nenchi's doing. Go take a look at his social media over on X. Like, he hasn't ever announced anything he wants to do via policy. It's always, look what Danielle did here. Now look what Danielle's doing over here. Now look what she's doing over here. He's not actually putting anything forward saying, if I was premier, this is what I'd be doing for the province, or this is how I propose to lower taxes, or, screw with everybody so that, he can get a seat. He's not making his empty promises yet. He's just saying, look what Danielle did. So if he gets his recalls and calls an election, people are kind of just they're voting purely on emotion with Nenchi and nothing to do with policy.
I constantly say this about every politician, because they all can go on TV and get the cool soundbite and give cool interviews. Pierre's a master at it. He does it all the time. But if you actually go and read people's voting records, what did you vote on? What did you abstain from? What did you put forth? What are your policies? What have you actually put into action? Not what I see on the news, not the interview you gave, not the words you said in the sound bites. What did you actually do? Because the news isn't going to purport any of that. They're not going to tell you who voted yes or no, unless it helps whatever thing they're trying to push. But everybody should, like, at the very least, your local politician, you should look and see their voting record and see what they're doing, and if they're doing what they said they would when you elected them.
JP Alberta, it is, and people should be checking that regularly. JP Alberta first, $20 super chat. We will never get the votes if we keep throwing the 51st into the conversation. Stick to the message. If we consider it, it'll be years. They need to come to us, or we'll end up as a territory for decades. Well, PJ, you've covered the 51st stuff. Angel also, thank you for the $2 super chat as well. You've talked about 51st state a lot, PJ. I've watched those videos many times. And I agree with a lot of your sentiment on that. What do you think there's still a talk of 51st state in Alberta, or do you think we're better off as a republic now that things have kind of evolved a little more?
Yeah, at this time we should push more towards independence. The reason why I always bring the United States angle, which I'll continue to bring, is because the U.S. is going to play a huge role in our independence. Obviously, it all starts and ends with Albertans. But if you believe for a second that the most powerful country on earth, which is just south of our border, is not going to have something to do with what's happening. And I don't mean with the vote, I mean with what follows right after if we do obtain our independence, which is international recognition. And the fact that the Alberta Prosperity Project has mentioned multiple times that the Trump administration via the State Department is more than ready to recognize an independent Alberta. They've also, at this point, put the 51st state question to rest, apparently, according to conversations that they had. However, an independent Alberta, according to the APP, would be more further integrated economically with the United States, which is what you would want to do shortly after becoming independent, because Canada is going to look very hostile and Canada is not going to be cooperative. So the 51st state as immediately upon independence or skipping independence altogether, that is not realistic. But the whole conversation of U.S. cooperation for Alberta to get its independence is definitely something worth discussing. And then I also look at the Texas model. Texas went independent for 9-10 years, nearly a decade, before they decided themselves, you know what, we are really well aligned with the United States. Why don't we just become, but that'll be up to Albertans, obviously.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I've heard a lot of people float around the idea of something similar to Puerto Rico, you know, like let's go that route. Yeah, we're just kind of a territory and not necessarily a state. But I've said, look, when it comes to, anytime I ask people about that, they always say, well, it's because we're landlocked, which is the most bogus sentiment. We've talked about that a million times over, that no, we're not, because BC needs to get their goods through us to the rest of Canada if we leave. The United States wants to work with us. There would be no reason for us to be considered landlocked, not to mention the UN's rights on, you know, refusing entry from country to country. I think that, you know, the United States is going to be very key into how we're recognized moving forward. I think that's, again, why Jeff Rath and the rest of APP went down to speak with the Trump administration not too long ago. And some positive things did come out of that meeting from what I've been told. But again, I can't talk about those things until they do. Not because, you know, they'll get mad at me, but it's just not really fair to them because, you know, they may be saving that for later, guys. I want to bring this up. Ethereal Trinity says it would be great if there was a website that the citizens could vote on bills and that data could go to the MP so they would know the people's will at least. The sentiment there is nice. That would never work, and I'll tell you why. Those sites would get manipulated so easily and so fast. You would have bots taking those things down. Go look at X. Look at their bots. Look at the bots on YouTube. Bad idea. Really bad idea. That would never fly. Angel with a $2 super chat. I have purple hair and a brain. Merry Christmas, Fringe. Same to you. I mean, look, not everybody with purple hair's a wacko, but I'll tell you, anytime I see the purple hair and the piercings and everything, I'm kind of like, you might as well just wear an identity. Yeah, just put a card on you that says I'm not to be taken seriously. It's there. Yeah, it was a nice dream. It's a nice idea. It would be nice if there was an easier way for MLAs or for MPs to get, feedback from their individuals. I always say, write them a letter, call their office, send an email, but you usually never get a response is the problem. So it's kind of a catch-22 on that one. How do we get heard? I guess elections is the only way. Mr. Alberta, $5 super chat, tactical question. Where do you guys think the independence movement needs help when it comes to the social media or content game? That's a good question. PJ, what do you think?
What we're doing right now, my friend.
Yep.
What we're doing right now, more collaboration between creators. Definitely just get involved as much as possible. Educate as much as possible. Use our reach to educate, let people know the facts. Because I say on the channel quite often that the other side has emotion, bribes, and nostalgia. We got the facts. We know, like notice that the other side, the stay in Canada side, all they do is ad hominem attacks. They'll come on unacceptable fringes. They'll start saying, you're just full of it. You're delusional. This will never happen. This is native land, blah, 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 blah. All of that has been debunked. They don't have any facts. All they have is attacks and nostalgia. Canada is a great country. Okay, well, and then you have situations like what happened today with Glenn Beck having to pay for surgery because Saskatchewan, of all provinces, one of the better provinces in this country, cannot do a surgery on this lady, and doctors are already offering her to, self-delete end her own life because our healthcare is not, it's terrible, man. There's way too many people. Immigration is out of control in this country. Mass immigration is the reality of Canada, and provinces, except for Quebec, which we go back to the whole Quebec taking power over its own sovereignty, except for Quebec, no other province is really controlling the flow of people going into their lands, right?
Mm-hmm. One thing I've go ahead, Matt.
Kick rocks, because I guarantee you they're funneling more people into the major urban areas in Alberta to try and screw with them. How long do you have to be there before you can vote in the independence? 2 years?
I think you just have to have proven Alberta address and voted in a previous election.
Not for the provincial, but for the independence vote.
I believe that's it. Yep.
Oh, okay. So what do you think they're going to do for the next 6, 8, 10, 12 months before you get to the vote? What do you think they're doing right now?
Well, and that's the importance of why I keep saying we need the time to educate. We need the time to get the numbers up. APP's made a great start so far, but in order for us to reach the potential of a satisfied referendum, we're going to need time to prepare, time to, again, push policy, to campaign. One of the things I've been talking about, and I'm sure it's been brought up through the others that I talked to, maybe with PJ, if not, then I'm sorry we haven't got to you yet. But between myself, John Bolton, hopefully PJ, guys like Keith Wilson, once the signatures start collecting for APP, I'd like to start a series between all of us, setting up tents and going around to universities, campuses, different places, kind of like a Change My Mind, to talk about and debate independence with people, because that youth vote is going to be so critical when it comes to independence. All the guys with student debt, all the guys that are trying to, get an education and then say, how come I pay all these thousands of dollars to go to school, but then I can't get a job because of DEI and all these other things. Those are the guys you're going to have to convince that, hey, we've already got, the 60 plus year olds that are already ready to go, that they've been screwed enough by the government. You've got middle class people that are struggling. What you don't have, even though it is growing statistically, is the youth vote. We need more of that youth 20 to 30 age range vote, especially in cities. Things like that are going to be detrimental and I think very beneficial. So when we're talking about social media, different things like that, I know this channel, I'm sure PJ, John Bolton, again, others in Alberta that cover these topics will all be on top of this to make sure that not only are we getting the message out as best we can, but covering the bases on where the demographics need to be had. I know APP is planning more rallies in the new year, so stay tuned for that one, folks. And one of the things that I was talking to somebody about today, which, hey, could be very beneficial for myself and PJ or John Bolton, is if C9 goes through, Danielle Smith has said that Alberta is going to remain a free-speaking province. So we could see an influx of viewers to these channels in the next few months, because we might be the only political commentators left on YouTube if the rest of the guys get censored. So it's about to get interesting.
Now I need a VPN.
Yep, it's about to get real interesting how things move forward. Anything else?
Is going to be an interesting year, man.
It's going to be a blitz in politics, because you're going to have the federal government arguing over an election. You're going to have Pierre trying to throw Carney under the bus. You're going to have the Conservatives and the Liberals mad because Alberta's getting the referendum vote. Again, I think you're going to have Quebec jumping into that fray with their vote. Like, if you guys want to see what a meteorite in politics looks like, headed straight towards Earth, that is it. Like, that's the nuke. No clickbait titles on that stuff. Like, that's reality, folks. Like, that's
what's coming down the pipe.
A lot of things happening at once. Is there anything else you think could happen media-wise, PJ, or where it should be focused on making sure people are educated on the independence end?
Well, I been wanting to. It's difficult because I still got a day job, right? But I've been wanting to go talk to people and record it live. Well, not live, record it. Obviously, when there's signature collection, I'm gonna want to do some live streaming too. Whenever I find the time, maybe by then I'll have enough. Watch hours that I'll be good. I won't need to work a job anymore. Maybe I'll end up quitting the job. But yeah, man, I was hoping, before this question was even asked, I was hoping to go to more towns, go places, and like literally talk to people. I'm just literally setting it up. We got to talk to people. We got to meet them where they're at. And I want to talk to young people. I specifically want to talk to some young folks, because like you said, that's going to be the key, man. And that's going to be huge. And we got to remind them, look, man, you can't own a house. You see your little brother who's 16, who's applied for a job at that Tim Hortons, and then you walk into that Tim Hortons and there's a dude who can't even speak English working in that Tim Hortons. That's what we're looking at right here, man. We're looking at a reality where you, young buck, cannot get a job in your own hometown because there's some guy from 8,000 miles away who got that job because the owner was paid by the federal government to hire this one dude instead of you. And that's the reality that we live under. And you also can't get a house because even in a small town, a basic house is now $300,000 when it used to be $150 out in the sticks where I live. Now it's $300. You know, let alone the city. You can't even own a condo in the city. So when we start talking to these people about that, and then pride, my man, pride. The CTV put out this article, which was counter to what the Toronto Sun put out. That's just how crazy it is. But then you go and Google it, and you realize what the reality actually is. And I don't know if you saw it. It's in regards to recruiting numbers at the armed forces, saying that, there's a big amount of new recruits in the armed forces, but then you have the Toronto Sun saying that there's hundreds and thousands of people at the armed forces quitting because of low pay, terrible conditions, under-equipped, et cetera, et cetera. So pride in land, and Alberta is a land that you can actually be proud of, man. And we got to bring that back, that patriotism, that freaking blue flag, man. We got to bring that back and give it, particularly to young men who have lost pride.
Well, and I think, one of the things you touched on earlier, PJ, again, this is more just for the audience. And when you said, the left are very well organized, when they do these things, they've got all their bases covered, even though we don't like them. They're very good at preparing and being organized. I think that on the social media front, when it comes to the signatures being collected and the movement forward to independence in the new year, again, I want to reach out to as many Alberta creators as we can, maybe the mains like yourself, this channel, again, John Bolton, and maybe a few others, Mike Freedom Honey, and some other guys. Maybe get us in on a forum at least every 2 weeks or something, doing a cross stream on different channels
type thing.
Well, we could do even just live streams like this, where we're all kind of throwing our hat in the ring as to what's happening, where we need to go, chatting with the audiences, and we can cycle between our channels so everybody's getting a slice of the pie on that one, and maybe just kind of bring everybody together into one space so everybody's getting their information and we're organized alongside doing the universities, the videos, the chats. If we're going to mobilize, we should do it as a unit, I think, because it would be beneficial for being on the same track with information. But
Mike Freedom Honey, don't expect me to be sober. Which, by the way, PJ, I'd like to invite you to the Mike Freedom Honey barbecue that we're going to have when I come out there in the spring. We're all going to grill steaks and shoot guns, and we're going to stream it so that everybody can.
Heck yeah,
see
man!
It.
Shooting guns and eating steaks is my kind of party, man.
Just right? We'll do the tomahawks again. Those tomahawks were golden. Let's get a few super chats out of the way, and then we're going to move into. Matt's got one thing to bring up here that we'll get into.
I got a bunch of different crap that I've just had queued up. We'll see what we got time for. We can show this one real quick. It's just
give me one second. Hang on, Matt. You got a delay there. I'm just going to get through these super chats, and then we'll get to that. Ron with a $5 super chat. Better for Alberta Independence, not Canada 51st. Democrats don't want conservative West. Republicans don't want liberal East. Very well said. Thank you for the super chat. JP Alberta versus $5 super chat. Texas was offered statehood by Washington and was granted it immediately. Alaska and Hawaii took decades, as Carnage correctly points out. That's true as well. Thank you for that. Kevin, $5 super chat. Another option is a compact of free association with the United States. Like 3 independent Pacific Island nations, easier to get quickly. That's another option as well. Thank you for that. Rose with a $2.79 super chat. Thank you for that as well. Kevin, $2 super chat. Independent Alberta needs its own ice. Whether it's independent or not, Canada needs it. Somebody needs to get it up here.
Earlier, queued up by chance.
I'm going to put that in on Friday's show. Okay. Marianne Drinkwater, $2 super chat. We're going to need a hell of a lot of lollipops. You're going to need some lollipops in there to keep people happy, I'll tell you, folks. Thank you for the super chat. Bradley with a $2 super chat. Have some viewers on a show? That one's tricky. That one is always tricky. Have you ever done that, PJ?
I want to do it. I've actually thought about it multiple times, but then I start thinking, what if this person is not really a real... I would do it with a member. I think I feel more comfortable, because if it's just a random viewer... You don't know if they're just going to jump in and start saying all kinds of crazy things, or they may start doing God knows what. Maybe they pull out and they strip naked. Who the hell knows? But if it's a member, I feel more comfortable. I would probably do it. I probably will do it.
That's kind of the same line we've always been on.
We did it on our show, and it got crazy quick.
Yeah, if that's kind of the problem, is that a lot of people, when they hear the censored talks on these streams, they think that we're just being appropriate for our audience. There's a lot of things with YouTube that if somebody comes on here and starts spouting off a bunch of stuff, it can cause big problems and almost deplatform a channel. So it's very risky, because while some people have good intentions, some maybe have good intentions and don't know the rules. Others, like PJ said, just want to whip it out and cause a scene, maybe get you deplatformed. I know Rick Walker used to have that issue when he was running Maverick Media. He'd bring people on during the pandemic, and they'd start talking about jabs and all the words they're not supposed to say, and effectiveness and all these other things. And before you know it, he was getting struck. He was getting demonetized, and he says, I can't take call-ins anymore. So I know a lot of creators back off from it. If there's a way to pre-screen, or maybe run a Discord where it's pre-recorded and we can weed out the stuff. I don't know how to do it, but so somebody pre-record and use what you can. We'll figure that out. Maybe I'd like to hear from viewers at some point. Dutchie, I thought that was your last one. My goodness. $70 super chat. I'm a member. I will behave and only curse a little less than Mike. Dutchie, I will definitely bring you on. I will bring Dutchie in. Dutchie's all good. Well, Dutchie's from Fort Mac. I know they're not going to screw around. They've got like-minded views. I would definitely bring Dutchie on. Matt, what do you got to talk about? Let's bring that on the stage.
Sorry, I don't need to turn up my mic. I just need to lean forward. I was kind of leaning back. So Christy Clark, former Premier BC, put this up today. The Valdez Marine Terminal in Alaska sends an oil tanker with 2 million barrels of oil every single day down the coast to Oregon, from 20K off the coast of Victoria. So I don't know what we're doing here with this tanker ban for just us, but like a boat with 20 million barrels of oil goes right down that red line every day. Mm-hmm. So like,
and yet David Eby says Alberta can't have a pipeline. right? Because
And can't have a
our
port, or
precious
can't have
coast.
anything.
Yep. It's sad. It's sad because, but this is, and people always say, well, it's politics. It's not politics. It's dirty pool. And it's like, this is where after yesterday's vote in the House of Commons, like, you'll have to forgive my disappointment, folks, when I got the statement from Danielle's office, because as soon as I saw that vote, I thought, okay, the message is crystal clear, right? We're not getting anywhere. We're not going to get anything. This is time for Danielle to say, hey, I did what I could. You said you were going to do this. You backed up. That's part of the reason I wanted to show what Jason Levine said, because look, Jason's not the be all end all, but he did have a fair point that, look, we still got to focus on the independence portion of things, but it does piss me off as a voter and as a supporter of Danielle to a certain extent, because when are we going to say enough's enough? Like, it's kind of like the abusive relationship. You know, you get smacked around by the spouse and you keep getting told, I'll change, baby. And then you come back and they get drunk and hit you again. Like, it's how many times are we going to get hit before we say, all right, pack the bags, we're going, right? It's Danielle's kind of saying it's up to the kids to decide when we go at this point. At some point, the adults got to jump in and say, okay, enough is enough. At least that's the way I see it.
Yeah, man, I very much agree with that. She has to, like, lady, and Mitch Sylvester says it all the time, actually. That was the first person I heard saying it this way, but he said that politicians, which goes back to Matt's point here, politicians are going to politician, but a smart politician, what they do is they see the wave or they see where the train is headed, and then they get in front of the train. Like, your base is more than clear now. You thought it was like 60%. It's more like 80% of your base supports more independence from Ottawa. Albertans are the most skeptical population, sub-national population in Canada when it comes to trusting the Liberals. We don't like them. We hate them out here. We don't trust the Liberal. We don't like Mark Carney. We don't like any of his ministers. We don't like any of them, except for maybe Edmonton and Calgary. They got, I think, one seat each there. Most of Alberta doesn't care for the Liberals. So do things that make us more independent. Do those things. And if you do, you're going to find yourself, because not only are they good for your base, but they're actually good for Alberta. If you do things like Scott Moe, I think Scott Moe was the one who said, you know what, I'm not going to collect, I'm not going to remit the carbon tax to Ottawa, although isn't it like a crown corporation there? So it's a little bit more complicated. My point is, make moves that are that sentiment of like, here, I just did it. I just did this one thing. I did that. I will give her credit for doing what she did with the transgender bill. That's great. Good that she's doing that. But come on, more of that.
Well, that's where I kind of felt like that with the castle law and the gun collecting, where she said, look, I'm not going to go taking these away from farmers or those who need them. We're going to allow castle law because you know right away that just upsets the federal government, right? Like, that's another pushback in their court that, hey, you guys can go ahead and do that. We're not doing that in Alberta. Look at C9. I don't think C9 is going to go through. There's too many Liberals arguing over it. The Conservatives have too many points against it. And at the end of the day, it has to go through the Senate. Even if there's Liberal-run Senate, they still have to base it on the Charter. It violates the Charter. You may see hate speech in terms of voice in public, like physical forms of hate speech. But when it comes to online, when it comes to YouTube, censorship abroad or social media, I don't think you're going to see it unless in extreme cases. So I'm not really worried about C9, but even for Danielle to say, yeah, you're not arresting Albertans if you do that. Like, those kind of pushes are great. I think those are the way she needs to keep going. But what she should do, and really, Danielle, I'll tell you, if we get the vote and she comes out and says, see, I did all this. I'm so smart. You know, I planted all the seeds all along and knew Albertans would go this way. And now I can come out and say that was the plan all along. I will literally go to the legislature and kick her office door down and say, you owe me so much money for the sanity you caused me. And all Alberta, like, everybody should sue Danielle at that point for punitive damages and say, do you know what you've caused us in emotional stress? Like, you've probably turned some people into alcoholics. Like why would you do that? Anyway, Mr. Alberta, becoming a new member. Thank you. Mike, I'm not a troll. You got to bring on the one and only troll. Hey, don't start telling me what I'm obligated to do here. I'll bring on who I'm going to bring on.
You're not the
Carnage
police with
Carney.
me.
That's right. Carnage Carney, $20 super chat. For a month now, I've been trying to start a flag wave, but no one ever shows up. I'm the only one for 4 Sundays in a row.
He's in Calgary, right?
Yeah, Steve's in Calgary. He's a great guy, by the way. He's always at my meet and greets, even out here in Spruce. That guy's committed. He's a good guy. Gave me my cowbell, by the way, back here. Steve's awesome. No one joins me. People would rather stay on YouTube than stand there. Steve, put in the chat where you're going to be. And if any members in Calgary are around or can join Steve, go join Steve.
I think I'm going to be in Calgary, Steve. I think I'm going to be in Calgary next weekend. Not this one, but the next one. If you're going to be there, I might live stream it, man, and then maybe invite people. Send me the details to my email or send them to Fringe. I'm sure he'd be happy to say, like, there's going to be a flag wave there. So
let's get it organized. Rose, thank you for the $2.79 super chat. Mr. Alberta, not even Alberta NDP voters will vote for federal Liberals. No, they won't. That's a good point. A.W. Bennett, $10 super chat. Fringe, can DS or Danielle Smith form an Alberta ICE and deport illegal immigrants from the province? USA authorities. Why am my dyslexia? USA authorizes ICE to deport illegals within the nation, but states can help and defend the border from infiltration. I don't know what Danielle can do on that extent. That's a hell of a question. I'm not that brought up in the law, but I don't think the problem isn't the fact that we have illegal migrants in this country. It's the process to get into the country. If you guys watch the channel, it was either last week or the week before, I had a video showing a committee meeting where they had admitted that anybody coming over the border just has to go on an app and hit a button. And they're in the country, no vetting, no security checks, no anything. So it's not that they're illegal. They're claiming asylum when they could be convicted SA offenders. They could be murderers. They could be many, many different things. They could be from cartels. They could be, well, you get the gist. But they're able to come over just by hitting a button. So if they were going to bring in some form of ICE, they'd have to start going against asylum seekers and getting them out. Now, when it comes to people who shouldn't be here, I wish they would get something because, again, Anita Anand admitted they don't know where half the people are, the temporary foreign workers that they told to leave are. They have no way of tracking them. So, yeah, I think
a basement condo in Toronto.
Yep, we do need those ones. We do need ICE for those reasons. Carnage Carney, $5 super chat. Sunday at the Walking Bridge over Deerfoot by the Max Bell Arena at 10:30 a.m. So if you get out of bed Sunday? At a good time on Sundays, head down to the Max Bell, folks. The Deerfoot Walking Bridge, 10:30 a.m. Join Steve. He's going to be there, and it's winter for God's sakes. Help keep him warm.
He should do it.
Bring him a cup
Steve,
of
if I
coffee.
could suggest something.
Not
You
Tim
go
Hortons.
ahead. Sorry, bud.
No, go ahead.
I said somebody bring him a giant cup of coffee, but not Tim Hortons.
Not Tim Hortons, no, man. If I could suggest anything, Steve, do it like they do it here in Edmonton. In the Edmonton area. Donnie B, Don Bonar, he does it out in Wayne Gretzky Drive, just on the bridge, the overpass. I've put on some of my posts, and he does it at 1 p.m. It gets too damn cold. So 1 p.m. might be best, man. I mean, around lunch. To
be fair,
did you say Saturday? Sunday might be better too.
Sundays. I believe it's Sundays. Sundays. Sundays at the Walking Bridge over Deerfoot. To be fair, though, Calgary does get mild winters because of Chinook winds. So, so if it is nice enough, 10:30 still early and it could be cold. But guys, go get a shot of whiskey and hang out with Steve on the bridge. You'll be nice and warm. Maintain that body heat. It's for independence, for God's sakes.
Do it.
Get out there and do it.
Right.
I'm gonna throw in PJ. You able to stick around for Q&A for a few minutes?
Heck yeah, man. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do some Q&A. If you guys got questions about independence, if you got questions for Matt, myself, or PJ while he's in here, throw them up in there. Get the likes up. Are we at the 750 likes yet, folks? Matching his and her hoodies giveaway at 750 likes. I said 1,000. One of my viewers is being very generous. Hit the like button if you haven't already. We have enough viewers in here to make it happen, folks. So hit the like button. It's free. And we'll see if we can get it working. 719. Come on, guys. You just got to get another 31 likes.
Thumbs up.
Come on. Hit it. Let's get to some Q&A while we're waiting on those likes and see where we can get. Bradley Wilcox, $2 super chat. We need a flag wave in Edmonton.
Already
PJ
happening.
just mentioned that. Yeah, and that was on Wayne Gretzky Drive. Do you know what day that is?
Yeah, they usually do it on Saturdays. Donnie B does it on Saturdays. There's a group on Facebook called Alberta Independence Movement, led by Benita Peterson. She's all in with the APP. And in that group, they put it pretty much every Friday. They put a reminder of where it is. I'll also put it on my channel. I put it on Fridays. I put it up on Fridays where they're going to do it and whether they're doing it. But they haven't skipped a Saturday. I don't think they've skipped a Saturday. I think they've been doing it. They just did it this past Saturday at 1 p.m.
Greg Wilson asked, can Danielle Smith change the percentage to make it easier for us to leave? So I'll handle this one because it's very easy. The percentage of we don't need, it's not the percentage that we need in terms of signatures. We're going to get the signatures, no problem. She already did that with Bill 54. In fact, she reduced it dramatically for referendums to gain their support for or for their petitions to gather support for a referendum. So Bill 54 already put that in place. If you're talking about the percentage for us to leave, in any referendum, you need at least 60% in order to have a strong confirmed win. So there's really no way for her to lower it. She can't say, well, 30% said they want to go, so we're going to tell the other 70% of Albertans, tough luck, we're leaving. There has to be a definitive argument in any referendum that, hey, it's overwhelmingly supportive. You could argue a 50+1 vote, and believe me, folks, if Alberta even got a 50+1, there would still be those who would be vying at the legislature saying, you better consider that a win. But when it comes to negotiations with the federal government, when it comes to Indigenous and all them not having a veto, you would need somewhere between 55 and 60 to be considered definitive. So no, Danielle can't really do anything on that front. Let's see who else we've got asking questions in here. Does Alberta have a constitution ready for when it becomes a country? If so, where can we read it? PJ, have you heard anything about that?
That's the Alberta Prosperity Project. They're working on it right now. But if you want to entertain yourself, Dr. or Professor Bruce Party out of Queen's University, he did us the favor, us Albertans, of writing what an Alberta Declaration of Independence looks like. It's not a constitution, but it is a Declaration of Independence, and he wrote it. Mm-hmm. It's on his website. You can literally just put on Google Bruce Party. He's a constitutional law professor, so it's not some wacko writing stuff. He knows what he's talking about. Professor Bruce Party, Pardy, Alberta Declaration of Independence. That'll give you a little bit of a flavor of what it might look like. But the APP is working on it as we speak.
Let me tell you, as a libertarian, I read that document and I almost came.
Badass, man. Badass. I loved it.
It was pretty good. I would definitely recommend a read on that one, folks. Cal with a $10 super chat. Is Danielle Smith working with us or is she not? It's very all over the place, and she's the only choice at the moment. But if we have a vote, would APP do its own thing? So essentially, sorry, there's like 3 questions involved in there. Let's just break it down. Is Danielle working with us or not? And if we vote, would APP do its own thing if Danielle isn't working with us? What do you think, PJ?
I hope she's smart enough to know better than what Jason Kenney knew. Jason Kenney was dumb as hell, and Take Back Alberta kicked him out of our province because he was dumb and he was arrogant. I really hope she's not arrogant. I really hope she hasn't forgotten who Danielle Smith was before she got power. I really hope she still respects her base and that she knows better. She gets in front of this train because, dude, you cannot put this genie back. I always mess up that saying. You can't put it back in the bottle, man. This 30% is solidified, and I would dare say is more like 35, maybe even 40. There are of course, the solid pro-independence vote is probably around 30%, but there's probably a good 10% that is sympathetic to the cause. They're probably looking at 40%. And I don't know how you get rid of that, man. That is a voting block right there. So she needs to get in front of this train, man. I really hope she does.
When it comes to APP, I can definitely tell you there are contingencies should Danielle drop the ball if we have a successful referendum. Folks, I need you to understand that I'm not going to out those contingencies until APP is ready to talk about those things, because again, it's not fair to them. And they do too. They sometimes talk to us in confidence that, at least we have a direction to go in. I'm not trying to dangle a carrot on a stick or tell anybody, hey, guess what? I know things you don't. It's more just, there are things in place. So anybody who's worried, please don't worry. The bases have been covered. If you ever feel doubt, again, you got to start reminding yourself, APP has already gone to the United States several times to talk with the Trump administration. They already know the ins and outs. They got multiple constitutional lawyers working with them on this recall legislation, or not the recall, sorry, the referendum. God, there's so many things. There's so many things going on. I get tongue tied here. They're working on the referendum, and they're also working on the outcomes of the referendum, A, B, C, and D. They've already got all their plans in a row. No matter what outcome comes our way. So be patient. More information will be coming, and it's going to come fast. Just like the super chat said, there's a lot of confusion out there, especially when it comes to Danielle and other things. Just wait for the new year when the Conservatives start attacking us, and when the Liberals come after us, and when the Alberta Republicans start going after certain parties and different figureheads, and you've now got the Alberta Party that's going to come in and start saying, well, these guys aren't representing us either. It's going to be an absolute mess. But I guarantee you, channels like this one, channels like PJ, channels like John Bolton's, we're all going to do our due diligence and make sure that we try and provide you guys with the best information possible, so that you don't have to weed through the bullshit. We'll do that for you. So stay tuned on that one, folks. Let's get to a few super chats, because I think some of them may be questions and I don't want to leave them hanging off. Marianne, $5 super chat. As soon as we get the yes vote, Danielle needs to fly Iron Lady's boots and pants. Then we know exactly where she stands. I vote yes for 1 p.m. Thank you so much. CH with a $5 super chat. We need to be in prayer for our communities, our people, and our leaders. Only God's grace, peace, and strength will help us be prosperous and free. Amen to that. Thank you very much for that. We got Cow's super chat. Carson gifting 10 unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Carson, thank you very much for your support of our veterans, and welcome to our 10 new members. JP with the $10 super chat. I would argue that we need 1.6 million yes votes, more than 50% of the eligible voters. That would get past hurdles of a clear majority. Jeff Rath wouldn't have to go yell at the Supreme Court. Well, we want Jeff to yell. I mean, Jeff's a really angry guy. He's got to, passionate. He's a very passionate man. We got to let him get that frustration vented. Carson saying, I'm going to match the giveaway tonight. Are we giving away 2 sets of hoodies? 2 sets of matching hoodies? What was who was the other guy? Did we get the 750 likes?
We're way past that, man.
Are we past there? I gotta go back. Who said they were gonna give away the hoodies? I gotta find his super chat. Tony Shaw. Is Tony Shaw still around? Is he making good on that or no? I haven't seen anybody in the chat mentioning it, so that's the only reason I'm asking. If Tony Shaw's doing it, then I'll hold Carson to it as well. Yes, Tony said yes to hoodies. I got to get confirmation from Tony before I give those away, because I don't want to be on the hook for those. I'll tell you right now, with all the censorship that's been going on this channel over the last week in particular, videos can't even hit. That. Oh, they can't even hit 10,000 views these days, and we used to break 80 without a sweat. It's
easy. Your average. Go figure if I was a watcher or not. Your average was on a bad day you did 50,000 views, 40,000 views on a bad day. You were averaging like 70, 80,000 views, and suddenly just a drastic sudden drop. People think we're kidding.
4,000.
4,000 on the video about Glenn Beck today. I thought this is ridiculous. People are going to be happy. It's good. It's good news.
And you broke news. This is incredibly relevant to your audience. It's literally talking about cross-border and how there's a lady in Saskatchewan and all that. It's real. The censorship is real.
Yep.
I don't like it when the YouTube censors the videos on the Unhinged Fringe. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like it.
You got to get on Alex Jones, man. You got to talk to him. He knows a lot about this stuff.
You know, one of the good things, some folks that do know Glenn Beck are putting me hopefully in contact with him and said that I got to do the Trump voice for him. So that would be a lot of fun. Maybe we climb up the ladder, folks, and get to a Donald Trump meeting. Who knows? It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. But the censorship has been crazy. So I found certain words, certain keywords. I've seen Reddit posts. I've seen all these things where they're talking about certain words that you use in your description that, of course, I'm not going to say during this live stream because, well, we'll get flagged. But commonly used words in politics automatically tell YouTube, hey, this is a risk for our advertisers. We don't want to be spreading any kind of false facts. So instantly, while they say there's no such thing as a shadow ban on their platforms, we all know it exists to some extent. Oh, yeah. But when I worried when you see Elon Musk saying, hey, X was offered a deal with Australia in terms of censorship, and we said no. It was either Australia or the EU, and they said we turned it down. You already know that the government of Canada with this Bill C9 and everything are already approaching Google and other platforms saying, hey, start suppressing this stuff. We don't want people talking about us. It's gone full force this week. Because no matter, I've pulled all the tricks out of the box, folks. Like people say, hey, don't use don't say what is I will match hoodies donation as well. 6 hoodies. Geez, hoodies are going to be in fashion for Christmas, guys. 6 hoodies tonight. You guys are crazy.
It's raining hoodies.
Well, you guys send in the super chats for those hoodies, and I'll give them away. That's Carson has another means of doing it, or you could send it over, buy me a coffee. However you want to do it. It's easier if I see it up on here. Carson can do it the old-fashioned way, but if you guys want to put it up here, I'll give those away. Do we know how many independence votes we have approximately? No. If you're talking about intention to get the petition together, I think they've got somewhere around the 500,000 of people that say they intend to sign for a referendum, or for the petition that APP has. So we'll see when they get the clearance if all those people come out, how fast they get those signatures, etc., and if they're verified. Who knows how many people are putting their names in there that aren't even legal registrants in Alberta. So we'll see.
Angus Reid latest poll had it at 35%, I think 33 to 35% intention to vote yes, and that is not even a conservative pollster either. So
it's insane. Sorry, I got kind of derailed with the censorship thing. We're going to see this in the new year, folks. We're going to see it scaling upwards. The most important thing I can tell viewers all the time, even if you don't like the content, like if you see a video and go, oh, somebody else talked about that today, or I'm not really into this subject. My advice, if you like the channel, put it on mute and just run the video for them. Share it out on your socials, hit the like button, put a comment in if you can. I know some people have been telling me they're not able to comment on some of my videos. I am going to YouTube about that one, folks, trying to get that fixed. But just checking the channels daily, even if you don't get a notification. I know there's a lot of viewers that sometimes tell me, hey, my notifications are on, I'm not getting notified. Go check the channel daily for updates. I know this channel uploads almost daily. PJ uploads pretty much daily, at least by daily if he can. Support. That's the easiest way to keep YouTubers moving along. There were discussions in this house. Mrs. Fringe says, what happens if this censorship continues and we can't make ends meet on YouTube anymore? Well, then we got to go get jobs. We got to get out of here. But the unfortunate thing, folks, there are no jobs. And that's part of the reason why I'm relying on YouTube right now. It's a tough game out there in Alberta. So support the channels. Subscribe if you haven't. I know there's a lot of people who watch these channels that watch PJ as well that aren't yet subscribed. Hit the button. Let's get PJ a silver play button one of these days. That'd be good to see.
Fingers crossed. And double check if you're still subscribed. I don't know if they've told you, but a lot of people are being unsubscribed, like genuinely being unsubscribed. Like they're like, man, I was subscribed for I thought I was subscribed for 4 months, and I checked and this thing said subscribe, and I clicked on it and I subscribe, and it unsubscribed me. The weirdest shenanigans are happening, man. So people do double check if you're still subscribed to Unacceptable Fringe. Double, triple check. If you appreciate the channel, do it. Do it up.
Absolutely. White LTR with a $50 super chat for our wonderful Albertan veterans. God, my tongue tied tonight. Thank you so much. Again, up till the 19th, folks, everything is being donated to our vets. It's the least we can do. They get ignored by the government. Let's help them out a little bit. Thank you for that very generous tip. Donation, super chat. Bradley Wilcox, $2 super chat. Everyone is struggling. We're having a hard time. We are having a hard time. Derek says this is his solution. I'm not going that far. I'm not. Listen, I think if I went down that route, people would be paying me to put my clothes back on. They'd be saying, just please don't, man. Like, we got to stop that. Don't be going that route.
If I could sell my feet pics or my bathwater, I'd be on OnlyFans so fast.
There you go.
We're probably doing our first subscription, you weirdo.
Let's go. Witsius, the $2 super chat. We love you too, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here. I haven't seen anybody getting in on the matching of hoodies, but we're gonna do a draw anyways. I'm gonna have to eat it if guys don't come through, but let's do it. Let's do a draw. I know Carson will, at the very least. So let's get the draws going.
We'll
do 3 draws.
Spin it now.
3 draws. Each person gets 2 hoodies to pick from, I guess. So if you don't have a significant other,
find your one.
if you want, find one or gift it to somebody for Christmas, or get yourself a second one, I guess. Simeon 50 or Simi Nai, I think I'm saying that right. Hopefully, $50 super chat. Totally support you. Let's go. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's go. Tony, I'll pay for the 2 hoodies. I appreciate. Well, yeah, but you can't do that. I can't get you to do that directly. You'll have to either super chat here or send the money of 2 hoodies to buy me a coffee. Because I send them out through the shop. So I'll give them away. Let's do it that way. We'll get things moving. Let's spin the wheel. Let's do it. What do we got here? What do we got? Canadian Unchained. Is Canadian Unchained in the chat? There's the first set. Canadian Unchained. What are the 2 hoodies worth? And I'll super chat it right now. I believe they're about. Hang on, let me pull that up. What do they go for these days? I think there's a sale. Somebody keep an eye out for Canadian Unchained. Is he in the chat? I'm
watching.
Where's Canadian Unchained? I gotta find him first, and then we're gonna.
Come on, Unchained. Just got yourself
Canadian
a hoodie.
Unchained.
There he is. There he is.
Is he there? He's there. Okay, so Canadian Unchained, stand by. I'll give you the email to send that through. Let me pull up what the let me pull up what the hoodies go for. The hoodies are roughly $50. We'll say 50 because there's shipping on top. So they're $50. So it'll be $100 for 2 hoodies. There we go. So we've got Canadian Unchained. Let's do another batch for the second set. Greg Wilson. Is Greg Wilson still in the stream?
Wilson!
Greg Wilson. Where's Greg Wilson?
Maybe he's related to Keith.
Greg Wilson's here as well. Greg, congratulations. You've won the second set. You head over to the shop and take a look. We will... I'll get you the email to send me your information right away as well. Let's do the third one. Oh, there it is, Dutchy. One for congrats to the winners. Thank you so much, Dutchy. You're the man. I appreciate that. Up North 49. Up North 49. Are you in the stream still?
Does Marty Up North burner account?
Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know if Marty watches me anymore, to be honest. I've ran into him a few times lately, but Carson, $2 super chat. I'll buy David a hoodie too. All right, David. Geez, everybody's. It's the season of gift giving. David.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
keep your eyes open for an email address from me, and I'll give you guys all your instructions at the end. God, you guys are getting amazing here tonight. And all this is going to our vets, folks. So good on you guys. Thank you to everybody who stepped up to give them out. North 49, did he chime in? Is he here? I might have missed it while I was answering. Up north of 49. Where is he?
He was in here earlier.
Let me see. Did he chime in?
Haven't seen it.
This is the last pair we're giving away. Yes, your man is awesome. Dutchie's better half. I agree with that. You guys are both awesome. Thank you. Up north of 49. Is he really gone? Because I saw him in the chat literally like a couple. No, there he is. There he is. Up north. Yes, really. Yes, you really won. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of our winners tonight, and for David getting a hoodie giveaway as well. Let me get you guys some info. I didn't have my keyboard lined up.
Shout out to Dutchie and the missus. Very generous.
Dutchie's the king gangster G. He just smacks it on the table every week. And Friday too, usually.
Okay, guys, head over to, first go to the shop. Find, for anybody who want a pair of hoodies, pick out your 2 hoodies, the size, the design. Take a screenshot if you can. Head over to unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. Leave me all the information you can on the color, size, design of the hoodie you want. Again, if you can get a screenshot, I would appreciate that. Send me your entire shipping information, postal code or zip if you're in the United States, as well as a phone number, because they like to be able to give you a call if they try to deliver and you're not home. I do delete those phone numbers after they're sent, so please don't think that I keep them for records or anything else. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not going to call you at 3 a.m. breathing heavily into the phone. So yeah, send me all that information. Unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. So that's 3 pairs of hoodies and 1 single one for David. You guys have 24 hours to get that to me, or else we have to redraw. So thank you to everybody who supported those giveaways. Dutchie, Carson El Gringo Grande, as well as, sorry, I got to get Tony Shaw, was it? Tony Shaw. Tony as well. Thank you guys for supporting those giveaways tonight. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Paniner just gifted 5 Unacceptable Fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Man, Paniner, that's amazing as well. Thank you so much. Let's go. Literally. Let's get out of here. You guys have been here long enough. We've gone way over on our stream time. I want to give a huge shout out to PJ the Belt for coming out tonight. PJ, thanks for coming on. We definitely need to have you back on in the future. Hey, anytime. Doors always... Listen, before your community yells at me anymore, the door's always open. So anytime you want to come on...
Oh, shit.
Listen,
you know what sucks for you? You know what sucks for you and for me, man? It's a shared community, a good percentage. So when it's back and forth. Every so often they'll go, hey, you know, you got to be on Fringe, and then hey, you got to be on PJ, you know, and they'll keep us accountable, I guess.
Where's Greg saying, how do you go to the shop? It may not be linked in the live. Go to any one of my videos. You'll see the shop button below the video, and you just head over that way, or you can look in the video description. I believe it's in the video description as well. Yeah, it's funny because everybody's like, oh, PJ's just called you out and you got to have him on your show. And it's like, that's not how this works, man. We're cool. Don't be like that. It's holy crap, Dennis. $400 super chat going to our vets tonight. Holy hell. Bro. Talk about waiting for the 11th hour.
Holy smokes, bro.
Yeah, listen, I'm terrible at keeping in touch with people. So anytime you want to come on, just text me and say, hey, asshole, I'm coming on your show. And I'll say, great, come on. You're welcome to come on anytime, man. It's an open door. I
appreciate you guys both. Thank you all so much for having me on. Hey, everybody, you go ahead and subscribe to The Fringe. He's the real deal. See you guys on the next one, all right?
All right. You guys take care. Have a great night. From Matt, myself, and PJ. Take it easy, guys. Thank you so much.